Jaishankar to attend Trump's January 20 swearing-in ceremony in Washington, D.C. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has been invited to represent the Government of India at the swearing-in ceremony of US President-elect Donald Trump on January 20. Mr. Trump has invited several heads of government and heads of state to be present at the event. On the invitation of Trump Vance's inaugural committee, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will represent Government of India at the swearing ceremony of President Donald Trump uh, as the 47th President of United States of America. Docking trial, ISRO succeeds in nudging two satellites closer by bringing chaser and target within 3 meters of each other. The agency has overcome last week's setback caused by an unexpected drift. Trying to dock two satellites in space, for the first time, the Indian Space Research Organization announced early on Sunday that they were brought within 3 meters of each other in trial attempt. It then moved them back to safe distance. SpaceX docking update, a trial attempt to reach up to 15 meters and further to 3 meters is done, moving back spacecraft to safe distance. Docking process will be done after analyzing data further. An ISRO project of ISRO, the SpaceX mission was designed to develop and demonstrate the technology needed for spacecraft rendezvous, docking and undocking using two small satellites. A PSLV C-60 rocket carried them, SDX-01 and XDX-02, Chaser and Target, to space from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota on December 30. Earlier on Sunday, the ISRO set two satellites were 15 meters off each other. SpaceX docking update at 15 meters. We see each other clearer and clearer. We are just 50 feet away from an exciting handshake. The demonstration of this technology is essential for futuristic missions such as sending an Indian astronaut to the moon, sample return from the moon, and building an operation of an Indian space station. If ISRO is successfully executes docking experiment, India will become the fourth country after USA, Russia, and China to accomplish the feat. Five workers remain trapped in Dima Hasao coal mine. The water level flooded in the Rat Hole mine Dima Hazar remain unchanged, affecting the operations. Five Naxalite gunned down in Chhattisgarh and Kannauj collapse. All workers pulled out after 16 hours. All 28 workers were rescued from the rubble of a collapsed building at Kannauj railway station. Kumbh confluence. Preparations in full swing in the Sangam of Prayagraj on Sunday, the eve of start of the 45-day Mahakumbh being held after 12 years. The major bathing ritual or Shahi Snan will be held today. Declining fertility levels will push up Kerala's maternal mortality ratio. Kerala's maternal mortality ratio, the lowest in the country at 19 per 1 lakh live births, is now climbing steadily, much to the consternation of the state health department. The reasons for the increase may be beyond the control of the officials. The latest sample registration system special bulletin on maternal mortality in India brought out by Registrar General of India put Kerala at MMR at 19. However, while it depended on a sample survey to arrive at the figure, the state health department's actual estimates of maternal deaths has near 100% institutional deliveries put the figure at 29. Except during 2020-21 when Kerala lost many women to COVID-19 during pregnancy and childbirth, the state has consistently held a firm grip over maternal mortality. Ironically, the current spike is not because more women are dying, but because there are fewer childbirths than ever in the state. The state has now hit uh, a low of 3,93,000 birds from an average of 5.5 lakh, and it is this dip in the denominator that is pushing the MMR up and not necessarily the actual spike in maternal births. Congress third guarantee 8,500 every month to jobless youth in Delhi. The Congress on Sunday promised to provide 8,500 per month for 1 year to educated unemployed youth in Delhi under the Yuva Udan Yojana Youth Apprentice Scheme if voted to power. This is the third promise by the Congress ahead of the assembly election for February 5. Border issue, Bangladesh summons Indian envoy. The interim Government of Bangladesh on Sunday expressed deep concern about the prevailing situation along the India-Bangladesh borders. Dhaka message was conveyed by Foreign Secretary Mohammad Jasim Uddin to the Indian High Commissioner Pranay Verma during a meeting held soon after the advisor on Home Affairs Jahangir Alam Chaudhry informed presspersons that India has been erecting fences in 5 locations on the Indo-Bangladesh border and alleged that Bangladesh authorities were not consulted before starting the construction work. He announced that the Indian envoy was being summoned to discuss the situation. Mr. Verma also met the media after meeting as heated exchanges continued between the two sides. We have an understanding with regard to fencing the border for security. BSF and BGB have been in communication in this regard, High Commissioner Verma said. BJP will raise slums if it wins. Kejriwal, he did nothing for slum dwellers, says Sabsdeva. Puri attacks AAP over unfulfilled promises. Sanjay Singh hits back. AAP's claim about me being BJP's CM choice false. Biduri. Residents living in Muck, LG focuses on his own remit, says AAP. Atishi seeks crowdfunding to meet her campaign expense. AAP MLA again receives police summons in illegal Bangladeshi immigrant case. AAP writes to EC over fake videos posted on BJP on social media. Ban on construction activities lifted as air quality improves in Delhi. The centre on Sunday lifted the ban on construction and demolition activities and plying of BS3 petrol and BS4 diesel for vehicle as the air quality in the national capital immediately improved due to weather conditions. The air quality index of Delhi has been recorded as 278 at 4 pm. The Commission for Air Quality Management in Delhi and NCR stated the forecast by IMD predicts another western disturbance in the region around January 14-15. It added the AQI on Saturday was 327 and under the very poor category. The ban imposed by January 9 was part of a list of actions under stage 3 of graded response action plan, a set of emergency measures taken to reduce pollution. It also included mandatory class shifting for students up to class 5 from physical to hybrid mode in Delhi, Gurugram, Faridabad, Gazia and Gautam Budh Nagar. Conduct land survey in Munambam Waqf Board tells committee. It also asks judicial panel to take steps to protect the interest of the persons occupying the Waqf property without causing loss to the board. The Kerala Work Board has urged the CN Ramachandran Nair Judicial Commission due to on the Munambam land dispute to recommend the government steps to protect the interest of persons occupying the Waqf property without causing loss to the Waqf. The board asserting that the holding was a Waqf suggested that commission issue directions to survey the land covered by the Waqf deed and identify the extent of properties in the possession of third persons and Farooq College that was lost to sea. The managing committee of the Kozhikode College in Muttawali to the property. A mere reading of the deed by which property reached the college would reveal that it was Waqf property and much of it was alienated according to the statement filed by Chief Executive Officer of the board before the commission last week. Church Forum support. The Commission is in process of hearing various stakeholders in contentious issue. The protest of the Munambam residents, spearheaded by the church, entered its 92nd day on Sunday, with various church-affiliated organizations pledging their support for the residents' campaigns to restore the revenue rights of their property. The Kerala Waqf Samraksha Vedi urged state government to withdraw the order appointing the commission as the judge reportedly made a public statement that the holding was not a Waqf, which according to the organization was arbitrary, unfair and wrong and amounted to contempt of court. Case against Telugu actors over hotel demolition. Kannauj collapse, 28 workers pulled out as rescue operation ends. Leopard seen in Tirupati, man falls off bike in panic. Yet another leopard sighting near Alipuri at the Tirumala foothills has set the fresh wave of panic among the residents of Tirupati. In Shirdi, Shah takes a dig at Pawar over politics of betrayal and treachery. Arrogance shown by Tamil Nadu CM is not good, Rajbhavan. A day after, Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister M.K. Stalin made some remarks on the floor of the assembly against Governor R.N. Ravi. The Rajbhavan on Sunday reacted strongly, saying that Mr. Stalin's arrogance was not good. In a social media post, Rajbhavan contended that Chief Minister had asserted that insisting on due respect to the national anthem and observing fundamental duties enshrined in the constitution were absurd and childish. Thanks for betraying the true intentions of the coalition of interest and ideologies to which he is a leader that does not accept and respect Bharat as a nation and her constitution. Such arrogance is not good. Please do not forget that Bharat is the supreme mother and the constitution the supreme faith for her children. They will not like or tolerate such brazen insult. Reacting to the Rajbhavan statement, DMK General Secretary and Minister for Water Resources Turai Murugan said, Mr. Ravi was arrogant and not the Chief Minister. The Governor Mr. Durai Ranjan said deliberately asked to change the convention that had been followed in the assembly for all these years. Interacting with journalists, he said, all these years the custom followed in the assembly was that Tamil Thai Vazatu would be sung at the beginning of the proceedings and national anthem at the end. Meanwhile, BJP State President Kianna Malai said there is nothing wrong in Mr. Ravi's criticism of Chief Minister and that also he was forced to do so. Steve Jobs' wife visits temple in Varanasi ahead of Kumbh. Lon Porel Jobs, the wife of late Apple co-founder Steve Jobs, visited the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi on Saturday before her scheduled visit to Prayagraj for Mahakumbh. Swami Kailashanand Giriji Maharaj of Niranjani Akhada accompanied Miss Jobs to the temple. Wearing a pink suit and white dupatta covering her head, the American billionaire businessman and philanthropist offered prayers from outside at the Sanctum Sanctorum at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. The visitor followed the traditions of the temple. She prayed for the successful completion of Mahakumbh. Parents body files complaint against Jharkhand principal. A Jharkhand parents body on Sunday wrote to the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights seeking action against a Dhanbad school's principal who allegedly orders schoolgirls to remove their shirts for writing messages on them. Caste census report will be tabled before cabinet, says Maraya. Amid opposition to the socio-economic and educational survey caste census by Vokalinga and Veerashaiva Lingayat communities, the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddharamaiah on Sunday reiterated that report will be placed before the cabinet for a decision to implement the survey recommendations. A planned meeting on Sunday of the Vokalinga community leaders to chalk out the community's response to the government's decision to bring back the survey report before the cabinet was postponed. Mr. Shivkumar, former Prime Minister H.D. Devgowda, and Adi Chunar Girimat Sir were not available on Sunday. Caste census report will be tabled on before the cabinet. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddharamaraya Maya on Sunday reiterated that report will be placed before the cabinet for decision to implement the survey recommendations. New state emblem for Tripura, sparks row replace it, says opposition. Leader of the opposition in Tripura Assembly, Jitendra Chaudhary, on Sunday said state emblem which was approved by the centre 3 days ago, does not reflect the state's nature, culture and landscape. Chief Minister Manik Saha on January 9 had announced that Union Home Ministry of Home Affairs granted approval to the newly designed state emblem. He had termed the development a significant milestone. Mr. Chaudhary claimed that there were murmurs of dissent regarding the design of emblem within the ruling BJP as well. He demanded that state governments respect the public sentiment and replace it with an appropriate design. It has a national emblem at the center of an outline of the state map, which is placed in a saffron circle with Government of Tripura written below. State emblem should have reflected the uniqueness of Tripura's landscape, said the CPIM State Secretary. J&K government unveils austerity steps to reduce expenditure, announcing a series of austerity measures to reduce expenditure for the current financial year. The Jammu and Kashmir government has imposed a complete ban on holding of meetings in private hotels and discouraged conducting exhibitions outside the union territory. The government also banned creation of new posts and called for the surrender of all posts which have remained vacant for more than 2 years. Remains of Bhopal's 40-year-old tragic past are pumping up paranoia in Pithampur. It's close to sundown and family is gathering in courtyard of their home near the ancient Bhokneshwar Mahadev temple in Tarapura village, Pithampur town of Madhya Pradesh Dhar district. The Puri family members have been priests at the temple for generations. There are discussions about the town's tense atmosphere, and the matriarch asks if she and her family of at least 15 will die. Their home is opposite to an industrial waste treatment plant. On January 3, the usually peaceful town of Pithampur, about 35 kilometers from Madhya Pradesh financial capital, Indore, erupted in protest. People across genders and ages were out on the street, which is one of the largest industrial areas in the state. As the day progressed, two persons attempted self-immolation. The next day, an angry group of protesters painted stones and tried to march to the waste treatment plant. It is now few days past the protest, and life in densely populated town has resumed to normal. However, Tarapur on Pahadi of Pithampur outskirts, the number of security personnel grows larger close to the plant. The people's anger is directed toward the Madhya Pradesh plan to dispose 358 tons of toxic chemical waste at the Pithampur Industrial Waste Management Private Limited, owned by the Ramki Group. The waste was generated from a disaster 40 years ago. In an early winter of 1984, on the intervening nights of December 2 and 3, MP's capital Bhopal woke up to a night where the toxic gas methyl isocyanate leaked by a Union Carbide India facility, killing thousands. The health impact is still felt among those who live there. Waste has been lying at now abandoned factory in Bhopal for 4 decades, while small protest in the industrial town as well as in Indore has been growing on since the shifting of waste gained steam at the end of December 24. The anxiety grew, bursting into protest against the disposal there. While the central government estimates based on the report by the Office of Welfare Commissioner, Bhopal gas victims say that 5,400 people have died due to the disaster as of 2022. Several non-governmental organizations, activists, and have claimed that numbers surpass 15,000. From their terrace, Vijay Puri 24, the matriarch's grandson, and other family members point at the plant and to the police barricades outside. He reiterates his grandmother's concern. Why has the government brought Bhopal's waste here? He and his family drew attention to a statement by Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Mohan Yadav after the waste reached the town on January 2. He claimed that the toxicity of the waste lasts 25 years, so now it is not harmful. If it is harmful, why can't they just burn it in Bhopal, says Vijay. In 2008, 40 kgs of Union Carbide's toxic waste was transported to Pithampur in dead of night during the curfew in Indore. This has caused protest at the time. So while government departments are working to win the public trust, activists are trying to ensure that intensity of public outrage does not dip until the next hearing in Madhya Pradesh High Court on February 18. Centralizing control. The center must not attempt to run university by proxy appointments. In a federal setup, attempts at undermining any stakeholder in the subject matter of education, which in the concurrent list will prove disruptive. The draft UGC minimum qualifications of appointment and promotion of teachers and academic staff in universities and colleges and measures for maintenance of standards in higher education regulations 2025 seeks to do precisely this, demonstrate, demonstrating the center's penchant for facilitating control over institutions through gubernatorial proxies. It proposes to diverse state governments of their role in the selection of Vice Chancellor of universities. All powers are thought to be vested in the Chancellor, that is, Governor in most state universities, by taking away the function of constituting the search cum selection committee from higher education departments. Such committee would comprise a nominee, each of the each of the Chancellor, UGC chairman, and of the respective university syndicate or senate. The Chancellor would appoint the VC out of 3 to 5 names recommended by the committee. Any violation draft warrants could attract debarment from participating in UGC schemes and denial of funding under the UGC Act. This comes against the backdrop of the conflicts between state governments and Raj Bhavans on appointing VCs, which have deprived several universities, particularly in Tamil Nadu, of leadership. Naturally, opposition has come from several states, including Tamil Nadu, which passed a House resolution urging Centre to immediately withdraw the draft. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has argued the draft is not only against the basic federal principles enshrined in the constitution but also poses a threat to the higher education system. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, the AIADMK and CPIM have endorsed this stance. A proposal to make non-academics eligible for VC's job has also drawn criticism. The draft says such non-academics must have served for at least 10 years at a senior level in industry, public administration, public policy, or public sector undertakings with a proven track record of significant academic or scholarly contributions. Mr. Vijayan fears this could be used to appoint Sangh Parivar loyalists. However, universities have benefited from scholarship of non-academics such as President R.K.R. Narayanan and scientist Y. Nayudamma. Appointing academics does not guarantee visionary leadership. The proposal to extend VC's tenure from the typical 3 to 5 years is welcome. The UGC would do well to remove anti-federal clauses from the draft regulations and ally apprehensions on other provisions. In the long run, it should aim for reforms to obliterate any government role in university administration, except maybe for funding, and elevate them to a truly autonomous institution that nurture excellence. Law by reflex, good implementation, not stringency of law, will deter sexual crimes. The tendency to make existing laws more stringent is an administrative reflect action often occasioned by political problems set up by particular crimes. The amendment enacted by Tamil Nadu Assembly to criminal laws on sexual crimes against women fall under this category. In response to the opposition moves to corner the DMK regime after the rape within the premises of Anna University in Chennai, the government has moved to enhance the punishments under the penal and procedural laws. That the perpetrator is a DMK sympathizer and that some details of student survivor were leaked added political sharpness to the general criticism over such an offense happening inside the campus. At pains to deny any leniency and overcome the setback to its image after Madras High Court formed special investigation team, the DMK government has chosen to amend the law based on the theory that more stringent laws will deter sexual assault and harassment. This belief is not founded on any statistical or empirical evidence but is often invoked by those in the government. This invariably means the use of legislative powers to send out a political message that the administration is committed to women's safety. After all, necessary amendments need not have to wait for a brazen crime or a public outcry. This is not to say the amendments are unreasonable. They enhance punishment for a range of sexual offences and extend bail denying features to such offences as well as those under the POCSO Act. Also welcome is the new provision for passing binding protection orders that will ensure perpetrators do not contact survivors by any means. The death penalty has been introduced for acid attack that results in the victim being reduced to a vegetative state. On the other hand, the newly introduced definition of harassment of women to cover the use of digital and electronic means and even non-verbal means may be too broadly worded and prone to misuse. Few would disagree with the enhancement of jail terms for rape, sexual assault, sexual harassment, and stalking and voyeurism, but a question does arise whether the mere increase in quantum of punishment increases the possibility of conviction or reduces the incidence of these crimes. The onus of arresting offenders, gathering credible evidence, and proving it in court remains the same. The onus of arresting offenders, gathering credible evidence, and proving in the court remains the same. Impartial investigation and resisting pressure of cover up while effectively implementing existing laws are more crucial for demonstrating commitment to women's safety. Making workplaces, public space, and homes safer for women will work better than merely adding to the severity of laws. India's data protection rules need some fine-tuning. On January 3, 2025, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology released the much anticipated digital draft personal data protection rules, a key moment in India's journey to regulate digital personal data. This step follows the passage of DPDP Act 2023, bringing India closer to operationalizing its framework. कुछ भी रिकॉर्ड नहीं हुआ